Annyeong and welcome to Hallyujuku, starring Brandon Cooper and myself, Mi-rae. This is episode 53.
God dang it, Bobby!
Enjoy! Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to a special little mini episode of Hallyujuku. I'm Mi-rae, your man with no plan. Here with me, as always, is my friend, my confidant, my tag team partner, Brandon Cooper, a.k.a. King Kaz. How you doing, Kaz?
Hello. Bueno.
Bueno. And for this little special mini episode, we have brought on a guest, as invited by T2T2 and suggested. We have none other than Neshcom himself, Bryce Castillo. How you doing, Bryce?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. We're here to just hang out, talk about a little bit of some headlines in East Asian pop culture. I have to ask you, Bryce, what experience have you had, and what is your relationship and your favorite things in East Asian pop culture-wise?
Sure. I mean, in middle school, and I feel like a lot of people got into it this way, but just those Kingdom Hearts commercials that they wouldn't fucking stop playing was like the trigger, you know, on all that stuff. And so I've kind of been into J-pop pretty much since then. I mean, for a long time. And I think I focus a lot on like female groups and female soloists. Yeah. And that's been pretty much it. I kind of consider myself a little selfish. I will find an album or an artist I like and then just stick with it forever and not really expand.
Yes. So we have a headline that we're going to finish off with that you had actually posted on, became the inspiration for, because we already knew about it, but it became the inspiration for bringing you on. But we're going to talk about a few other headlines here. First of all, Stan Lee does Guillaume for Clara. What is life even? So Clara, an actress that I imagine you're not aware of, Clara Lee, to be exact. She's an actress, kind of media personality, somebody who was on a regular cast member on SNL Korea, all around kind of very vivid personality around Korea. She recently, for I don't know whatever reason, decided to release the sequel to the Guillaume song. Bryce, I have to ask you, have you ever heard of Guillaume?
I think you also need to explain. Nobody's ever heard
I also
of Guillaume.
don't know what Guillaume is.
Okay, so Guillaume was like this little electro pop song, like kind of almost like this bit tune. What was it? No, what's it? Bit tune? Bit. I don't know. I think I got the right bit tune. Is that the term?
What are you trying to say?
I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it was a track that spawned kind of a specific little cute dance that appeared on all the variety shows, which is the Guillaume. And it is specifically, and we can see as demonstrated by none other than Stan Lee, which is 1 + 1 is Guillaume.
It's the
2 + 2
it's the
is
like
Guillaume.
grossest, cutest. Like it's one of those things that if you saw a little kid do it, you're like, oh, that's pretty fucking cute. Then you see it on TV and your favorite pop star does it, and you're like, all right, that's cool. And then your grandmother does it as a Christmas party. Yeah, and you're like, oh.
I saw this article and I didn't know what Guillaume or Clara was, so I watched the video of Stan Lee doing it, and I was like, okay, this will probably explain what it is. I have more questions now.
Yeah,
I have more questions about what a Guillaume is.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where like you'll see a variety show and they'll be doing like a bunch of different stuff, and then somebody will be like, oh, do Guillaume, and you'll see the person who has to do it like, you fucking serious right now? Like. Right.
So it's played out, is what you're saying. At
this point, it's a little bit, but it's still fun to kind of make somebody do that, like on a variety show, as kind of like a test, you know, especially ones headed by like comedians who like to kind of put the idols on the spot. So literally speaking, for those that don't know, it is basically you're going you go, 1+1, and then you Guillaume, you do kind of doing 1+1, 2+2, 3+2, and then you do whatever cute. You do whatever cute, and then 3+3. You can do this. It's a variety for 4, 5+5 until you get to 6, and then it's yummy.
Yeah, it's.
Stanley's version is pretty. It seems like an easy thing to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
also one of those things you see Stanley do it, and you're like, Grandpa, no, stop. People are looking. You're embarrassing me in the rest of our country.
Yes. And it makes me wonder, how did Clara get Stanley to do it? like what? Where did
anybody will do anything for money?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, true. But no, well, okay, no, not so much how. Obviously, he did it for money, or he'll do anything for like a buck. He'll appear at any convention, whatever. I'm just wondering the logistics, the literal logistics. Like, what were the steps that happened? Like, how did she meet up with Stanley?
Someone from her camp had to have called someone from his camp, right? Or did someone just call him directly? Is Stanley a guy you just call directly?
Here's what happened in my mind, right? Stanley was in Korea to promote the Avengers, right? And she was like on the red carpet doing interviews, and she was like, "What's the stupidest thing you've done for money?" And he's like, "I don't know, be in the Hulk movie." And she's like, "I think we can do better."
You think it was a dare? It was a dare, almost.
Yes, like it was almost kind of like a challenge, the ridiculous challenge, like infinite challenge. Let's see what we can get Stanley to do. And of course, there's an adorable picture of the two of them hugging it on her Instagram. And of course the song. If you guys checked out the song, it's cute but unnecessary. Like, why did we necessarily need to do a sequel to Guillaume's song? We really didn't. But at the end of the video, they do kind of redeem it a little when they actually obviously show that they're just clowning. They're just doing something fun and ridiculous for fun. But yeah, Stanley. I love you, Stanley. All right, speaking of cringing, Bobby schools us on hip-hop and defines his thug rapper background for Arena.
God damn it!
So our boy Bobby, for now soon to be debuting under the group iKON from YG, kind of comprising of many of the Team B guys, and Bobby, of course, recently putting together a really cool contribution to a.k.a.'s Born Hater, putting out some other cool material, impressing really well. Had a song with Hai Soo-hyun. Had an interview with Arena where he goes ahead and talks about his experience and history with hip hop. So many things in it are glorious, including that he chooses his name because of Bob Marley.
You know what I love about this? It's the fact that Bryce, our guest, having no knowledge of who Bobby is, read it and still made me cringe a little bit. Yeah. And me, having championed this boy and being like, oh, Bobby, king of the idol rappers, here to fucking actually make pretty boy rappers look good, like, besides looking good, which is what they generally do, like, actually, like, be legitimate. And then you read the article and you go, God damn it, how did you win a rap contest? How?
Also, Bobby showed why he's passionate about hip hop when presented with other fake thugs in the industry. It's like, did you become a YG trainer because you wanted to do hip hop? I originally just had the vague notion of wanting to do music, not necessarily hip hop or rap. At the time, I didn't know enough about the hip hop genre in a professional sense. It's like, did you come to realize the appeal of hip hop after becoming a trainee? After coming into the company, I began to see how cool it was by listening to a lot of music and exchanging songs with BI. I originally just tried to copy a lot of foreign rappers.
Okay, so hold on.
Which is not uncommon, which is understandable. It is that one I'm gonna give him a slight pass on. Because media begets media, media inspires media. Nothing is truly original. I mean, we all have our heroes.
So I'm new to the K-pop scene. And he was a trainee, right? Which means he's like
Yeah,
exactly
YG. He was
like
one of the
new
many
bands.
trainees. So every entertainment agency or label is also at the same time a entertainment school. They kind of have all of their own farm system. It's like baseball. So they have their trainees that are under them, training and kind of learning, and they can be called up in a group or singular or at any given time, depending on how ready they are.
So how long has it been since he debuted, or from
He still hasn't
taken a step up?
actually debuted yet.
Technically.
Here's Bobby's career in a quick nutshell, right?
Sure.
They grouped a bunch of boys because they wanted to put out another boy group. He ended up in the Team B versus Team A situation. Team A won.
Yeah.
They became the new popular boy group. The Team B kind of became the bench guys. They were like, we're going to keep you around. We're probably going to send you back to your parents. We don't know.
Yeah.
And then there was this more meant to shine for underground rappers reality show that Korea had, where it was very like, let's take all the like cool Korean rappers that everybody thinks are actually good rappers, because they are, and like make them like be like, okay, that guy's good, that guy's good. A very American Idol for rap kind of thing. So they decided, hey, let's send these two kids to that thing and see how they do, or whatever.
And then they got extraordinarily popular from the TV thing.
Yeah, because he
well,
kind of...
too.
Yeah, he actually did really, really good, or whatever, and kind of impressed the stage of, like, real Korean rappers, or whatever. So his little thing skyrocketed from that, and they let him do a bunch of other stuff, and then now he actually has a group that they're going to premiere, which is known as iKON, which I think at this point is kind of dumb to, like, hide him in a group when he's already shown that, like, he's better than everybody in which he's in the group with, but that's a whole other thing. So now we get to the point where, like, he's famous enough to do interviews, and then he says stupid shit.
Yes. Okay, so... oh, you were saying, Bryce? Yes?
Because all of his responses read as someone who is still very fresh in
he's very
the
young.
industry, right?
He's very young, he's fresh.
a little too open, a little too honest with an interviewer.
Yes.
Right? I mean, further down in the interview, he's basically like, yeah, I kind of want to start writing my own lyrics, which is a very, like, bad thing to say.
But of course it's expected of him, unfortunately. And he mentioned
There's also the other thing. In the system that he's in, which is the YG, which is the try hard system, as we like to call it, they want so hard to be bad boy in the '90s group.
Yeah,
like that's their label. Like their fucking CEO thinks he's P Diddy in the '90s, like in the heyday, like, and acts like it too.
Yeah.
So generally in the groups, there's one guy who's like the godsend, the like messiah who comes down to earth and gets to do everything cool, which is write the lyrics, compose the music, and do all the other shit, while all the other boys are there to look pretty and make him look good. And in his group, unfortunately, it's BI, who generally tends to make himself look like an idiot. But it's the kid BI who he mentions a lot in that article, because BI is the person who gets to write all the songs and do all the cool shit or whatever. So when he's talking about, I want to write my own lyrics, he's saying in the sense that within that group, that's BI's job. And one day I dream to ascend to do that.
But yeah, let's get to the real meat of this, where he decides to go ahead and define hip-hop for us. So it's like, what about it specifically? It's like, it's cool because it's honest, without putting, what is it about it specifically? Well, first, it has a manly charm, just rawness. There is no embellishment to it. Interviewer, it's cool because it is honest, without pretending or trying too hard. That's right. That's what I like about it. There's an aura to it, even when it's just there without doing anything. I keep falling deeper into it because of that. Hip-hop isn't just music. It has a culture. like when you're simply hanging out with your friends and high-five each other, that's hip-hop. For example, waking up in the morning and going to school without showering, that's hip-hop too. It's just raw.
The worst of all answers. The very worst of all answers that could have possibly be given to what define hip hop. The worst. It's no embellishment. It's high fives and not showering. The worst possible answers.
It's like, God dang it, Bobby. God dang it, Bobby.
You know what, Petey? I'm still gonna champion Bobby because Zyko is still a thing.
Yeah. He's still a good rapper, and he's still good at what he does. He's really talented, and he has a lot of promise. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sometimes...
No, I'll take Bobby Stupid over Zyko's super try hard any day.
Yes. Oh, okay. That's true. That's true.
That's something else we'll have to tell you about one day, Bryce.
Tough cookie. Tell you about tub cookies.
What happens when you take the prettiest of Korean boys who's known for doing all that, and he goes, I'm gonna make my own rap song, and everybody's like, all right, cool, whatever, and then he goes fucking 50 Cent on you, and you're like, boy, like, what did just happen?
What you doing making those gun sounds at me?
Right. Didn't you, what in the video you premiered in last week, you had makeup on. In this video you're throwing cookies at me. There's a weird thing that just happened.
Disconnect. Disconnect. Yeah.
Because I know you had eye makeup on in that last video. You had on fucking pink rouge and shit.
Goddamn, if I can just get a butter knife and swipe off some BB cream off of you and just use it for myself, you know, goddamn.
You don't do that, Cross. You can't. No, you don't go from NSYNC to 50 Cent in a week. Yeah. No.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the in conclusion. God dang it, Bobby.
God dang it, Bobby.
God dang it, Bobby.
I still like Bobby.
Yeah,
it's still my boy.
I'm still hoping for good things from iKON, and just like we were kind of getting some good things from Winter, as we discussed in these year-end shows that we're in the middle of this week.
You just need somebody to teach Bobby how to interview. That's all.
Yes, the PR guys need to kind of get a hold of them. You know,
knowing YG, they probably fired the fucking media people, and we're like, "No, we got this." And now they're like, "Shit."
All right.
Somebody called the media guy back.
All right. So moving on to speaking of icons in hip-hop, Korean hip-hop icons, Mi-rae sues Sony over song usage in the interview, so let's remember Payday. So Sony had a big kerfuffle with the interview. It's been discussed at length in other shows that are better than ours and have better, more interesting people than us. That whole thing. But the latest thing is something that strikes closer to us, which was Mi-rae and Feel Good Music, Mi-rae, a.k.a. Tasha, Lady T. Feel Good Music are suing Sony Pictures and DFSB Collective for using a song Payday without permission. Which was interesting because somebody had posted on Reddit like the live performance of Payday and saying, "Oh, cool, Payday, the song that was on interview." I was like, "Hey, cool, she's getting her song on a well-known movie. No matter what I think about the movie, hey, she's gonna get a little bit of exposure. This is really cool. People are gonna know about her." And then I found out about this, and I was like,
I think it's the only K-pop song in that movie. I watched it the other day. I think it's the only one.
K-pop. Yeah, the only song that's in there. It's used in a very specific scene. But we find out that they didn't quite ask for permission to use the song. Apparently, at least according to allegations by Tasha's camp and Feel Good Music. I don't know. This is some bullshit. If it's true. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Is there intent at this point just to piss off all of Korea?
It's like,
Like
I
you're
mean,
like, all right, we did the North. Like now we got to piss off the South. Like, is it
it's
like
like a
is it that
pre-planned thing.
real like that hardcore root in just like Sony's history of Japan and not
Yes.
being able to conquer Korea, and they're just like fucking Koreans. Like, god damn it, we're gonna figure out a way to fuck them over. Like, yeah, you know what? First of all, we're gonna fucking blame them for hacking our movie, and then second of all, we're gonna steal music from the South. Bam.
So I've got a question about this. Because I feel like I can tell what happened.
Yes.
Okay, so is DFSB Collective her label?
No. DFSB Collective, I think, is whatever is going on with I don't, Feel Good Music.
I think
is
it's
their label.
the music whoever they used for Sony.
Yeah, like the company.
Okay.
Somebody else. The company. Might have to do with South Korean agency specializing in the distribution of K-pop songs worldwide.
See, I think what happened is because this happens a lot. It really does happen a lot where musicians who are on labels or have distribution agencies don't need the agencies don't need their permission to put songs in music, to put songs in games. It happens without their control and their say because that gets in the way of the process and it slows everything down. So I really would not be surprised if that is exactly what happened, where DFSB said
DSFB are the people that sponsor the Korean South by Southwest portion of South by Southwest.
Yes.
Oh,
Interesting. So it's
because
like,
I mean, this happened this year with Deadmau5 and Disney, where Disney used a Deadmau5 song in a video or something, and Deadmau5 got all upset, and Disney was like, "Hey, your record label at the time, Ultra, gave us the rights because they actually own the permissions, not you, dude."
yeah. So
Yeah.
It
I think
happened.
Disney was still mad because they couldn't sue him over the helmet. You little bitch, we'll find a way to get you. Like, that's all this ever is. It's like, oh, you got over that one time, I'm gonna fucking fuck you in the fuck when I get a chance.
yeah. So Mi-rae's agency, Feel Good Music, said on December 26th that there were initial discussions for using Payday in the movie, but at some point the discussions ceased, and we assumed that it would not follow through. However, after the movie was released, we learned that the track had been used without permission, legal procedure, or contracts.
Yeah, so this seems like exactly what Bryce had. So initially they went to the artist and the label and were like, yeah, we want to use your music. And they were like, all right, well, you know, how about this? And they were like, I don't know about that. And then somebody else was like, hey, you could just use those guys. And they were like, like, we're going to go talk to those kids over there. Like, you're assholes.
Yeah. And right now, I think the interview is only available in America. I don't think you can even rent it outside of, like, in Canada or anything, which I think is a part of it. Is if DFSB said, we can give you the rights for, North America distribution, that could be exactly as much as they wanted right now.
Yeah, it could be. And, of course, there's also the fact that Mi-rae, well, all of them are, Mi-rae and the label head, I think he's the label head, Tiger JK. I don't know if he's at the top of the label. I don't know if it's like his label, but both of them are American kids.
At the type of the label?
Both of them are American, American citizens, and they do manage their stuff over here, I imagine. So, Tasha, it's going to be a whole legal bag of cats, but not
Tasha cut a bitch.
yeah, she will. Yeah, she will. And but I still think it's not cool, bro, and I'm gonna stand with Tasha all day every day. Tasha Nina. But now, speaking of legality, get to our headline, our main event headline, the one we brought on Bryce, where I know that he did research for more than either of us did, but mostly because we are familiar with the group and we kind of had a little bit of a knowledge about the group and a little. I think I read some information on this law they're talking about. But yeah, FEMM get political, support dance is not a crime. So there is currently a law. I don't know if those people out there are aware. There's currently a law in Japan that says that dancing in public buildings past midnight is illegal. It's a law that was passed in 1948 called the Business Affecting Public Morals Regulation Law. Yeah, it sounds lame, and it is lame. It's one of those old-timey laws that you can't believe, like, are real. And it sounds like a law, like, we hear, like, crazy laws in different states that nobody really enforces, but are on the books, so you can kind of technically say it's a wacky law that's on the books. Except that here, it's actually constantly enforced. To the detriment of a lot of people. A lot of businesses are affected by this, like a lot of clubs and a lot of, rock clubs and a lot of different music venues and dance clubs are affected by this law. You kind of have to finagle and worm their way through the system to try to stay afloat and stay in business. And FEMM, our girls, our homegirls, the queens of J-pop, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa.
I'd say they're up there. I'd say they're up there.
FEMM. The soldiers.
The
soldiers.
Goddamn. I can't think of her name.
The head soldiers, the generals. The generals in the front lines of J-pop.
Yeah. Because the queen will and forever will be goddamn. Oh my fucking god.
Kyary Pamyu Pamyu is the ruler of the world.
Yes.
She's world ruler.
Yes.
Really? Okay, we have to have a separate discussion about that. Ooh.
She's world ruler. Kyary Pamyu Pamyu. She's our overlord. But FEMM, our girls, Far East mannequin, mentioned mannequins, who we've talked about many times. I actually put out a cool video.
Extensively.
Put out a cool video called "Dance Is Not a Crime," where you can see them in a public bathhouse, dancing to their jam, their banger. Fuck boys get money. And it's pretty rad.
I still love that song.
Yeah, I love it.
The anthem, the motherfucking anthem.
It's the anthem. Turn up. That's the classic turn up anthem. Right there. Dancing like it is a really cool thing that somebody's doing this. I imagine there's going to be more to this. Somebody's doing, and it's a very important thing to do, especially for businesses, for clubs, and things like that. What did you guys think of "Dance Is Not a Crime"?
I mean, I think it's a silly law, but it's one of those things. It's really going to be hard for them to fight because Japan is still really run by the old people. It's the same problems we have here with those old, like,
Crackers?
person.
Oh, sorry.
It's conservative. It's a conservative culture.
All the conservative people laws of, like, no noise after 8 p.m. when I'm trying to sleep, like, kind of thing. It's just one of those things. It doesn't make sense in modern culture, but to the old people who still run the country, it makes sense. And in their mind, there's a reason that it exists. There's a reason that it's a thing. But to the younger, more party-induced culture, it's like, bro, I left the house at 11:30. Like, you expect me to not want to, like, party out at 12? Like, no, I'm not done. I just got here. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I also now envision in my head like the old kind of days where alcohol was illegal and you had, like, the little push button things that would make the bar disappear, that, like, people are dancing and you push a button and seats fly up under them so that they're not dancing anymore. Cops come in and you're like, I do enjoy the music of this song. Yes, indubitably.
Yeah, it seems like even at some level the government was open to making these changes as they prepare for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. But I guess because the lower house dissolved.
Yeah.
Earlier, the bill is not just tabled; it's gone. All of the progress that had been made this past year or so is just gone.
Yeah. It was just a huge bummer, and not just we were talking about all the club kids are going to be bummed out. It is a huge deal for a lot of businesses. It affects economies. people trying to start businesses, trying to do something that they enjoy. It's an economy thing. It's a job thing.
How
It's
do you
super.
expect a young budding yakuza to run a nightclub when they can't allow people to dance and drink?
Yeah. God damn
Come
it.
on.
It-
Are they gonna
it's-
break
it's just
kneecaps?
I mean, it seems like at least up until a couple of years ago, it was almost like a not very enforced law, like
Yeah.
something that was kind of just technically illegal, but nobody really had an issue with it until I guess there was a murder in 2010
Yeah.
that sort of sprung back up into enforcement, but it still just seems so risky to have this ridiculous law that treats dance clubs the same as strip clubs and casinos.
Yeah.
It's
It's
weird.
a little heavy-handed. Like it's like super heavy-handed in so many ways. It's unfortunate because you kind of it's a little misguided. There's a lot of ways to kind of deal with certain things, that they're trying to fight against without, being so kind of draconian about it. And it's just super silly. Like I said, it's a law that almost, it almost feels like one of those like, hey, did you know in Wisconsin you can't poke a duck in the butt after 12 p.m. On weekdays, but
Yeah.
but it's real and it's out there, and hopefully this does something. And I always love seeing more from FEMM. I did kind of get excited when I saw this, thinking that we were gonna get a new single. It's like dancing in our car, like whoa, this is the new jam. I'm hyped, and then I saw the video. I was like, oh, okay. This is
Man,
cool.
they dropped a whole album and more music videos than that album had.
Oh yeah, no,
songs.
that's what we were saying. We were like, oh okay, it's this group, and they dropped like 2 music videos, pretty cool. Then we were like, all right, then they dropped 7 more. Okay,
What?
Okay. Hold
And then
on,
they just
I'm doing
kept
math.
going.
How many songs can you put on an album again? Like, all right, is there a DVD box set that comes with this? Like, all right.
Oh man, I hope so. I hadn't seen anything about a physical release at all.
No,
Yeah,
it's
and
all on
I know
iTunes
the
and
YouTube
shit.
presence.
It's on iTunes,
I
which for J-pop is ridiculous in and of
Well,
itself.
it's not. It's not Jake. Well, no, because a lot
Yeah,
of
well,
stuff ends up on iTunes.
Some
Sometimes.
stuff. I gotta look it up. You know what? I gotta learn to type in Japanese, because I imagine they just what they don't do is Romanize things. I think that's the
No,
issue.
some of it they do, and some of it it's romanized weird.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
strange. It's not what you would consider, like you or I would consider the correct romanization.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna have to do better. I'm gonna have to reflect on my mistakes. I'm sorry.
It's like there's an AKB album that's probably like Roses and Flowers, and then the American title is AKB That's Okay? You're like, wait, what? That doesn't. How does it get? All right, whatever. I'm gonna buy it.
It's like no Dame Cantabile. Tomorrow's gonna be there. But yeah, hopefully this does some good out there for this. And yay,
I mean,
FEMM.
anytime you put any of those things in a public eye, especially with somebody gaining as much worldwide, garnish as FEMM is, it will be one of those things that it will at least get somewhat talked about. But remember, this is Japan, and
They're kind of born with that. They've kind of grow into that stick in the butt. All them old
Yeah.
Japanese folks, they got that big old stick in their butt.
Also-
And the dance is not a crime movement. It seems to also be backed by Twerk-em-all, which
Yeah.
is a mysterious collective.
Which I thought was just a compilation that just existed, and I didn't know it was like a movement or a label.
Yeah, I guess it's not defined by specific people, right? You go to the site and there's no like profile page, right? Like there's one of the videos on their site where it shows one of their events, and it actually might be their Dance is Not a Crime event from November. But there's literally 7 DJs at the booths. There are like over 7 CDJs set up, and then 4 twerk dancers in front of them dancing for a crowd. It's a very strange collective on a very strange, very strangely positioned on Amuro Namie's solo label.
Yeah.
But they seem to be a big part of Dance Is Not a Crime, which is good because Twerkamal seems to be street level Tokyo DJs, which is exactly the population that this shit affects.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, when changing laws, I think you need a better name than Twerkamal than going up against old Japanese men.
Yeah. And like
they might be into it. They might be into it.
Well, yeah, this is the same. This is the same country
they go into the diet. I mean, glitter and shit. Like, yes, I support Dance Is Not a Crime.
Right.
Gotta go. I've got a meeting in an alley.
Yes, I've got a meeting at a karaoke room.
I have a cuddle meeting in a few minutes.
At a maid cafe. I'm gonna go meet some colleagues at this maid cafe.
And I have to go cut the ribbon on that new cat cafe.
Yeah. I want to go to a cat cafe.
I know, right?
In Korea, there's dog cafes, too.
Yeah. There's also bird cafes.
A much better idea than a cat cafe. I'm going to say it. That's my hot take.
Yeah. More excitement. It feels more upbeat at a dog cafe.
Yeah, dogs are so much more friendly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are Japanese cats we're talking about. So they have like little suits on, I'm assuming, and they like serve you tea.
That is adorable.
Like, purple wigs and give you magical powers.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's more adorable.
That is how it works in Japan, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think so.
Like, they're all more or less anthropomorphic, and they dress in costumes, and they speak perfect Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or maybe sometimes really stilted and imperfect English. Almost like that was a dubbing joke and it didn't land well. And let's move on. Let's move on. All right, so those are our headlines. A nice, fun little episode. It was nice, nice and fun to have a guest on once again. We have having the other half of the Jump Point duo. Like we had Roberto before him. Bryce, thank you for being on, Bryce. What do you got going on?
I've got a Patreon going on right now. I make music. You might know that I make music. And I'm doing a Patreon to get listeners more involved. You can you can submit words to the Patreon that inspire the songs that come out of it. And you'll get music a week before it goes on the stores. You'll get it before it goes on streaming services, and it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic, and I hope that it proves fruitful. Because I don't know, I like having direction, and having the direction be led by the people who like my music for whatever reason is just it feels good. It just feels good. That's patreon.com/Neshcom, Neshcom, or follow me on Twitter, BRYCAS.
Yeah, I'm showing on camera, though you guys don't get to see it, but I'm showing on camera the Mercury Counter CD that I have, which is a fantastic disc.
I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah,
and also, Bright has his own website, unlike most of us, so neshcomplex.com.
That's right. You can get your own physical CD of Mercury Counter. I will ship it from this box right down here, right next to me, to your house. And you know what I just started working on today is Mercury Counter the movie. Stay tuned.
Ooh. So stay tuned to that. Of course, y'all can keep staying tuned throughout this week. As we have these past couple days, these next couple days, we're going to have even more of our kind of year-end recap week. A lot of these little mini episodes that we're going to have fun doing. Just recapping what was 2014 and K-pop and a little bit of J-pop. So, and maybe in the end of the week we're also going to do some predictions. So, what's going to be next year's hashtag? Stay tuned.
Hashtag Asian butt.
It's not very big.
God damn it. Big. No, I'm gonna work on it.
Not very big, unless they do squats. Unless it's yachting. But that's it. That's it for us. Kaz, you got anything
Yep.
going on in the world?
The only thing I can allude people to is the chat room awards. I know I've said it before. I've made stupid tweets about it, but please, no, go vote. You could vote on things like best Twitch streamer, which Bryce is up for, as well as there was something else here.
Best
that
new
you were up
podcast?
for.
Best multimedia project.
Best multimedia product.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Yes.
but definitely go to chatroom.us/awards. Vote for all the things. I plan
Vote
on
for
being
multiple vote for multiple IP addresses.
yeah,
Use
Vote
the
early,
VPN.
vote often.
multiple times.
Every day. Only a
PD's in
couple
here
days.
for something. I'm in here for being racist because that's because I opened my mouth on the internet.
Jessica's
Yeah,
and
that's
in
right.
there.
This podcast is up for an advancement of racism award.
With your jump point co-host, where we try to explain to Roberto the 3 powers of K-pop, which at this point is just the 2 powers because JYP be slipping. 3 powers of K-pop using a World War II powers.
I saw a bit of
the
that. And I have
axis
to
of
say,
evil.
yeah, that happened.
And us trying to tell Roberto why it was more offensive to compare the Korean group to the Japanese than necessarily Nazis. Because I don't think we were able to say that, hey, to the Koreans, Japanese were their Nazis. But before we dig ourselves any deeper, that's it for us. PD Rave is me. Hallyujuku is a podcast. You can actually, if you want to learn how to spell it, it's right there in the middle. kpoppodcast.com for an easy way to share it with your friends. iTunes, Stitcher, all the places. Subscribe, share, like, do as you please. Until next time, hasta los huevos. Annyeong. Annyeong. Fighting!